The National Soccer Coaches Association of America is proud to be the world's largest soccer coaches organization, and the NSCAA is proud to bring you the November 12, 2013 edition of the weekly college highlights and ranking show. It's tournament time and the largest crowd of the season, 12,000 plus. Watch UCSB beat Cal Poly this weekend, and we bring it to you next on NSCAA TV.
Nearly 13,000 fans poured into Harder Stadium on Saturday, November 9th to witness the biggest rivalry in college soccer. The annual meeting between California's Central Coast foes, Cal Poly and UCSB, has brought the top 4 single-game attendance records in Division I men's soccer ever, and that includes the NCAA tournament. Saturday night was no different in that 12,805 fans witnessed this Big West matchup, the largest crowd to attend a Division I men's soccer game this year. Certainly, both the Gauchos and the Mustangs gave the Loco-heavy crowd just what was asked for, an intense and exciting match topped off by a UCSB victory on senior night. The match's first highlights came in the 6th minute from a Mackenzie Pridham shot just inside the 18-yard box that deflected off of the left goalpost. Despite the scare for the 12th-ranked Gauchos, it served as a wake-up call for UCSB that eventually led to 6 corner kicks to Cal Poly 0 in the first half.
That was, I thought, a real key play where we didn't give up that goal. And from there, we just took over the game slowly by slowly until I thought the second half it was all us.
In the second half alone, UCSB outshot Cal Poly 12-2. The Gauchos were finally able to convert one of those in the 61st minute when senior forward Goffin Boyoko got a header off of a Drew Murphy corner kick for the eventual game-winning goal. UCSB kept the pressure heavy for the rest of the game. In the 86th minute, it was sophomore Charlie Miller who helped secure the UCSB victory when he converted a pass from Boyoko into a goal. The Gauchos came away with a 2-0 victory Saturday night. It was just the second time in the last 14 matchups between UCSB and Cal Poly that the game was decided by more than one goal, showing just how exciting this rivalry continues to be. With sights toward the postseason, a feat the Gauchos have now reached for the 11th time in the past 12 years, UCSB looks to continue its unbeaten streak of 11 matches. This team is red hot right now, so keep a close eye on the West Coast. For NSCAA TV, I'm Larissa White. Now let's go to the Continental Tire Studios in Chapel Hill with Dean Linke.
All right, Larissa White, thank you so much. You do such a great job. And congratulations to Tim Baumsteig and UCSB. What an unbelievable foundation they have built out there for college soccer, 12,000 plus, and a great way to kick off today's show, as indeed it is tournament time. Let's take a look here at the highlights of today and what we will cover. First, on the women's side, we've got a new top 25, a 64-team Division I tourney is set. We will show it to you. You'll visit with SEC champion G Guerrieri. How about Mark Krikorian? He won the ACC tournament from Florida State. He'll be on the show. Nebraska is your Big Ten champion. They pull the double, and the Big Ten midfielder of the year, Jordan Jackson, joins it. We'll have Division II and III and also some updates from junior college, the player of the week, and so much more. That's on the women's side. On the men's side, we are just as busy with a new top 25. We'll take a look at the upcoming conference tournaments. Georgetown is the #1 seed in the Big East. They'll play at PPL Park, and we'll talk to their head coach, Brian Wiese. Wisconsin has John Trask in the top 16, and he'll join the show. And we've got Division II, III, and again, more junior college updates, the player of the week, and so much more. And with that, we will start with women and Sari Rose. Delighted to have you back, Sari. And of course, one of the big reasons the 64-team field is set. It's so exciting right now in women's college soccer.
Wow, there's 8 teams from the ACC that are in the tournament. There's 5 teams that have never been in the tournament that are here this year, and I think it's going to be an exciting weekend of first-round games.
All right, let's take a look at some of the storylines we will be covering here as we take a look at women's college soccer. Of course, one of the biggest ones, Virginia finally lost a game.
Yep, we look at Chugger Adair's Hokies, and they've always kind of been the silent team in Virginia due to all the hype with UVA, but they've really come on and they've got a number of great wins, and I'm excited to see what they do in the tournament.
Well, the Noles ended up capturing that tourney after Virginia went away. And then how about these teams? Nebraska, Marquette, Tiffany Roberts-Sahadic, 18 games without a loss. Nancy Feldman's Boston team moving to the Patriot League. They win it. West Virginia under Nikki Izzo Brown and UMBC getting it done on the women's side.
Yeah, and then you've got to look at Texas A&M. We're going to talk to G Guerrieri. What an unbelievable season they've had. And UCLA with the Pac-12, Amanda Cromwell comes in her first season, wins the championship, and is the number 2 seed too.
All right, let's take a look at the ACC tournament here. And, of course, it was Florida State able to win it as Steve Swanson. They went 11-0 in the regular season, but it was Florida State's Mark Krikorian, who has done an amazing job now in 9 seasons at Florida State, as we take a look at everything Mark Krikorian has done here. And what a job Mark Krikorian has done, Sari.
Yeah, he's won his second tournament in 3 years. Just an unbelievable recruiter. They're a strong international squad and really just a great cap to their season so far.
And we talked to the head coach of the ACC tournament champion, Florida State Seminoles. And we're joined now by the head coach of the 2013 ACC tournament champion, Florida State Seminoles. Of course, we're talking about Mark Krikorian now in his 9th year. And Mark, a big weekend for the Seminoles at Wake Med Soccer Park.
Well, it sure was, Dean. As I think it's fairly well documented, the quality of the teams across the board in the ACC are just fantastic and probably getting better and better. So all of us feel very good about going in and finding a result against Carolina and then yesterday against Virginia Tech. So great competition, outstanding student athletes on both teams, on all of the teams, and we're feeling quite happy and quite pleased to know that we've earned our way into the NCAA tournament.
Well, you said it best. The ACC has been incredibly dominant all season long, and of course the College Cup will return to the same place, Wake Med Soccer Park. It would surprise nobody if there were 4 ACC teams there. As you start the process to try to get back to Wake Med Soccer Park, how do you prepare? Do you change anything, Coach?
Well, I don't think so. Certainly we're going to look to continue to fine-tune some different areas. I think right now, as you know, Dean, it's a tough stretch and travel and outstanding competition. I think our last 6 games we played Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, Duke, Carolina, and now Virginia Tech again. So I think that's 6 games against top 15, top 20 teams, and it's fatiguing and challenging, but hopefully it will make us stronger.
You've never been one to signal out individual players, but Cassie Coleman is the ACC Defender of the Year. Talk about her and some other players that have really stepped up this year.
Well, Cassie's had just another great season. She's really had a great career here, and she's all business. She comes in every day to work to get better, and passionate as can be, and a very good leader as well. So I'm glad to see that she's been recognized for the qualities that she brings to the game and through the ACC. And it's nice to see that she's earned the respect of the coaches in the conference. It's not a surprise to me. I would say that Cassie and our other senior, Kelsey Weiss, will both go on to have great professional careers. They're going to have opportunities with the senior national team as well, I would think. And it's been a pleasure having them here, and hoping that they can help to carry us a little bit further.
Finally, Mark, you've had some great accomplishments on the international level. You're a great professional coach, but as you look at college soccer for the women's game, I think it's easy to say it is a key part of the success of the U.S. national team, the Canadian national team, the Mexican national team. Women's college soccer is fantastic.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of programs out there that are doing just a fantastic job of developing the players, and whether they are domestic kids or international kids. I think as I look around the country and I see some of the progress that some of these players are making over the course of their college experience, for me it's great to watch and great to see kids getting better. And obviously we have to compete against kids as they do grow in their programs, but again, as a purist or somewhat of a purist in the game, I want to see players develop, and it is nice to look out there and see a number of kids getting better.
Good luck in the NCAA tournament. Congratulations on all your success. Mark Krikorian, the head coach of the 2013 ACC tournament champion Florida State Seminoles. Sounds pretty good, Coach.
Thank you, Dean. Pleasure as always.
All right, good stuff from Mark Krikorian as we take a look around at the America East. UMBC, how about the job Leslie Ray did?
Leslie Ray took a team that was 1-11-5 2 years ago and turned them into a regular season and conference champion with a 13-5-2 record. Just an unbelievable turnaround for the Terriers.
Next up, of course, the Atlantic 10.
Tiffany Roberts-Sahaydak, she's come in, she's replaced Amanda Cromwell and just done it in fantastic fashion, winning both regular and tournament champions this year, and they're going to be set for a good bracket as well.
That's the American Athletic. In the Atlantic 10, Dayton won the regular season, but LaSalle took the tournament.
Paul Royal upsets Dayton in the tournament, and he's going to have his third straight NCAA tournament this year as well.
How about in the Big 12? It was a double from West Virginia.
West Virginia got knocked out early last year in the Big 12 tournament, but they came back this year. A huge weekend by their goalkeeper, Sarah Keene, and just an unbelievable result for Nikki Izzo-Brown.
In the Big East and Patriot League, rolling along.
Marquette had a fantastic year. They were 9-0 in the regular season. They've won 13 straight, and a well-deserved win for Marcus Reeder's team this year.
And in the Big 10, another double as well. How about Nebraska and John Walker?
Nebraska, they've struggled with Penn State in the conference. Penn State's dominated pretty much the last 15 years, but John Walker's team came on strong, and they win both the regular season and the tournament championship as well.
Led in the middle by Big Ten midfielder of the year, Jordan Jackson. As you see there, 9 goals and 10 assists, and part of the double now in her 5th year down in Cornhusker land, and we caught up with Miss Jackson. And joined now by Nebraska Cornhusker Jordan Jackson. She is the 2013 Big Ten Midfielder of the Year and on the Big Ten regular season and tournament champions, the double-double. How's that sound, Jordan? What a great season.
Oh, I mean, it's awesome, especially to end a 5-year career on those 2 notes. I mean, it's unbelievable.
And, of course, it's not been easy because Penn State's been so dominant, but indeed it's the year of the Cornhuskers. Why this year? Why this team?
I don't know. I mean, just something about how we play together, how we work together. I mean, every aspect of our training has just been so strong. And I think it really motivated our senior class, who's been through the program the past 5 years, to really kind of leave a legacy and kind of give everything that we have. And being picked last year 9th in the conference kind of maybe had a little bit of a chip on our shoulder coming into this season. So it was good that we got to prove some people wrong.
A man who never seeks the attention, but all he's done is an amazing job, Coach John Walker. Talk a little bit about him and what he's like as a coach.
I mean, he's a great coach. He's so knowledgeable. I mean, he knows everything about the game. He's so passionate, and I think that passion really is what drives us as players. And I mean, he's so in tune with the game and with our team, and with how we need to succeed and how to approach each game. So, I mean, he's just such a humble guy and just a great overall coach.
Now, you're not the only player to receive first-team honors. As you know, Miss Romero and J.C. Johnson also on that first team. Talk about those 2 players.
I mean, Ari in the back is just such a force for us. She's so great at organizing and just so tough as a player, and it really just kind of sets the tone for the rest of our back line and even the rest of our team to follow. I mean, she's just an awesome player. She's a great captain on the team, and so, I mean, she's really great to play with. And JT, I mean, she's just a dynamo up front. She's really come in and been a really strong force for us, coming up with huge goals throughout the season, like the overtime win against Penn State, and then obviously in the semis and finals against Iowa and against Indiana. I mean, she's a great player and really provides a spark for us.
Pretty good player. Also wears number 16, 9 goals and 10 assists. Of course, we're talking about Jordan Jackson. Those are big-time numbers. Got to be a lot of fun putting the ball in the back of net and also helping your team.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I like to take some responsibility of the game just because of my experience and stuff with the program. And, I mean, it obviously feels great to score and kind of just do whatever I can to help our team win.
All right, Big Ten regular season champs, Big Ten tournament champs. Still work to be done. How far can you guys go, Jordan?
I mean, I think we're going to go pretty far. I mean, the NCAA selection show is tonight, and, I mean, I think we'll be seated pretty high, so I think having that kind of home field advantage going into that, and I mean, I don't want to say specific like round or anything, but definitely pretty far.
Big Ten Midfielder of the Year, Jordan Jackson, having herself a great 5th year with the Cornhuskers. Congratulations. Good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
Good stuff, Jordan. And speaking of great, how about Nancy Feldman moves over to the Patriot League and she gets the double?
Nancy Feldman is an incredible coach. This year, her team was 2nd in the nation with a .319 goals against average, and just a testament to how much effort she puts into her teams year in and year out.
The UCLA Bruins under Amanda Cromwell. They're your Pac-12 champions. They don't have a tournament, but UCLA's legit.
Yeah, Amanda Cromwell's done a fantastic job with the team. They've had a couple of bumps along the way, but really just a terrific season, and we're going to talk about them even more later.
How about on the West Coast? 3 teams that finished 8-1-0.
Unbelievable. Portland, BYU, Santa Clara tied for first. All incredible teams that have really had a good year this year, and it'll be interesting to see how they do in the tournament, if they can carry that tradition of winning into that NCAA tournament.
Lots of women's college soccer as we take a look there at your other winners. You can take time to break all of that down, but congratulations to all of the winners. And of course, one conference that indeed we did forget on purpose as we saved the SEC for last, and what a job Texas A&M has done. Your regular season champs were Florida, but Texas A&M wins the tournament.
It's the second year for Texas A&M in the SEC tournament, and they were able to top Florida 2-1. They had great goals by Shea Groom and Liz Kessler, who had the game winner, and then just an unbelievable job to rebound in the NCAA for the NCAA tournament.
As we roll to the highlights of the SEC championship, you see Texas A&M there in the maroon colors. Florida is in orange. And Florida would actually score first as Annie Speece would score in the 28th minute off an assist from Savannah Jordan, the all-world freshman. But Texas A&M, a team that never gave up, went into halftime, and they would get going. Kelly Minogue would find Shea Groom, and then Shea Groom would slide it over, and that would make it 1-1. But hang on, folks, a goal that was even better than that one would be coming about 30 minutes later in the 83rd minute. Grace Wright would drop it out. This one would be saved first, as it's still 1-1 as the game rolled on here between Florida and Texas A&M in the SEC championship. And then finally, it would fall over. This is a freshman here, Liz Keister. Top of the 18, would hammer it with her right foot, and nothing but the back of the net, and the Aggies would knock off the Florida Gators by a score of 2-1 and win the SEC tournament championship. Of course, they're led by G Guerrieri. Check him out. He has been at 17 straight NCAA appearances, counted 18 now, and your reigning SEC tournament champions, as they are 17-4-1. And let me tell you, Texas A&M was excited about that victory.
3 months ago, guys, we worked hard for this. We were up at 5 a.m. for this moment here. It's not over. Let's go. Here we go. Day by day. Day by day. Get better and better. We get better and better. Till we can't be beat. Can't be beat. Won't be beat. Won't be beat. Ha, 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 ha. We're here to say, oh shit. 1, 2, 3.
Hold the SEC Tournament Championship trophy, and he was back in Aggie Land, and we talked to him yesterday. SEC Tournament Champions, that sounds pretty good. G, how you feeling?
Feeling great. I gotta admit, it's been a great run in a great conference, and we're really excited about what's next in the NCAA tournament.
Not sure everybody realizes there's only one senior on this team. It is a very young Texas A&M program.
Well, it is, but it's a lot of players who are really experienced. It's a big junior class with a lot of NCAA experience. This team has won Big 12 championships. They've won now SEC championships. So we feel pretty good about the kind of the moxie that this team has at the moment.
How about the moxie of Liz Keister, as we saw that goal just before you came on? That's a big-time goal to win the SEC tournament title.
Yeah, and it was a big-time goal against a great opponent in Florida, who I think is going to do great in the NCAAs. But it was the timing couldn't have been any better, and for a freshman to step up and be ready to perform on that level, on that stage, is pretty special.
G Guerrieri, you've been at Texas A&M for such a long time. You love the fans down there as well. Talk about what's made that program so special.
Well, I think a lot of what's made our program what it is the consistency that we've been able to have. I've been here for 21 years, but the person behind the scenes and the people behind the scenes are incredibly important. Phil Stevenson, who's my associate head coach, there's none better, and he gets the credit for that game plan against Florida. And really, what he's been able to do, as well as Lori Stevenson, his wife, who's our assistant coach, Mary Grace Schmidt, who's our volunteer, and Paul Seeley, who's our fitness coach, because it's a grueling run to play 3 games in 5 days in the SEC and to be able to come out with 3 wins.
Talk about grueling. This year's College Cup is going to be in Cary, North Carolina. That's ACC country. You've seen the rankings all year. It's been loaded with ACC teams. Does the tournament run through an ACC team, in your opinion, G?
I think so. I think when you look at what Virginia's done all season long, you look at how special Virginia Tech is and what Chugger's been able to do with that program. You can't leave out Mark Krikorian's program at Florida State, and that's just 3. You have the defending national champions to throw in there. You've got Randy Waldrum's group at Notre Dame, and it goes on and on. You could go through there. You can't leave out the great players that's on the West Coast with UCLA. But we're excited here in the middle of the country to be in for our 19th straight year, and we're hoping that things will go our way and we can finally get ourselves. We've been so close to the College Cup so many times. Well, we'd love nothing more than to be able to be there in Cary with our team in December.
Well, G Guerrieri, you're always such a gentleman, and your team is first class. Congratulations on all your success, and good luck in the NCAA tournament.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate it, and you guys have a great week.
All right, G Guerrieri, that'll roll us right in here to the top 10. Texas A&M not quite there. They'll be in the second 10, but Virginia hangs on to number 1, and they should.
Yeah, I mean, they remain in the top spot despite the 4-2 loss to Virginia Tech in the semifinals of the ACC tournament. They're still averaging 3 goals a game, and so are going to be set for this NCAA tournament to prove that they deserve a national championship. UCLA is the number 2 and well-deserving of that rank. Although they were snubbed with the number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, Amanda Cromwell's Bruins are 17-1-2 and now have a little chip on their shoulder going into the dance. Becky Burley's number 6 Florida Gators are led by freshman Savannah Jordan, who has 22 goals this year. Despite that loss to Texas A&M, they find the Gators are in an excellent region for the NCAA tournament and can use that conference loss to propel them to success in the NCAAs.
Marquette, Santa Clara, the Big Ten champion, Nebraska round out your top 10. Let's take a look at 11 through 20. Michigan leads it.
We talked about West Virginia and Texas A&M, but I think we need to shine a little on number 15, Denver. They earned a 4 seed in the tournament this year after cruising to a Summit League championship. Last year, Denver upset number 4 Maryland, though, and made it to the Sweet 16. So it'll be interesting to see what they do in their first round match against Colorado. At 20, Davy Nolan's Georgetown team, they've dropped down a little, but they're a quality squad. They're 3rd in the nation in scoring, and they've got this crafty little midfielder, Daphne Corbo, who's 9th in the nation in assists.
And your final 5.
I like to talk about the Pac-12 and Washington State. 6 teams from the Pac-12 were selected for the NCAA tournament, and second-year head coach Kadani McAlpine guided Washington State to a runner-up in the Pac-12, so I think they're going to have a good tournament as well.
All right, now it's time to take a look at the 64-team field. We talked about the ACC. G Guerrieri talked about the ACC, and indeed, the top 4 seeds are ACC schools.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the fact that UCLA is not a top seed, but I think those are all 4 quality seeds, and it'll be an interesting tournament. Some of these brackets are set up pretty nicely for our top seeds to be successful.
All right, let's take a look at it here. Virginia, your number 1 seed, and
they're going to have to beat St. Francis, then take on that Davy Nolan Georgetown team. At the same time, they've got Marquette and Notre Dame in their bracket, and so it should be a tough run for them if they can make it past those early 2 teams.
If they do make it to the College Cup, UCLA and North Carolina are down and could face them in the Final 4.
And that could be a rematch for UCLA's only loss of the season against North Carolina. So once again, another interesting bracket once you get to the end.
All right, as you flip the screen, Virginia Tech is on the far side as they're a number 1 seed.
And they've got Florida in their bracket. One of the topics I want to talk about in there is Rutgers versus West Virginia. West Virginia's 11-4-1 against Rutgers, but they're going to carry over that Big East rivalry into the NCAAs, and it should be a pretty interesting game as well.
All right, and finally, we'll find Florida State lurking in the bottom bracket.
And Florida State, they've got to take on South Alabama, who's yet to be in an NCAA tournament, but they also have BYU in that bracket. They've got Portland in that bracket, and they also have Nebraska, who's doing fantastic at the end of the season right now.
That is your 64-team field. It gets started this week. So exciting here for Division I women's soccer. And how about your Player of the Week presented by Disney Soccer and the NSCAA? Connie Organ for Tiffany Roberts and Sahadic and Tim Sahadic's UCF team. She was big coming up with big-time penalty kick saves to defeat Rutgers in that big-time American Athletic Conference Tournament Championship game, and Oregon steps up big for UCF, and she is your NSCAA Disney Soccer Player of the Week. Wow, so much going on, and all of it presented by the good folks at Continental Tire. Continental Tire, innovative technology, driving confidence. Learn more at continentaltire.com.
There's a reason soccer is called the beautiful game. Experience it live at the 2013 NCAA Women's College Cup, December 6th and 8th at WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. Affordable tickets now available at ncaa.com/Women's College Cup.
Hey, Missy. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. I just don't want you boys to be late for your big game. Okay, have fun. I'll be right here after the game.
Continental Tire, the official tire of Major League Soccer.
The new fall flooring styles are here, and we've got them on sale now at Lumber Liquidators. Save on new hand-scraped and exotic hardwood, bamboo, laminate, and more. Choose from 53 floors under $2 a square foot. Don't wait. Sales going on now at Lumber Liquidators.
Welcome back to the Continental Tire Studios. Dean Linke along with Sari Rose. We took a look at Division I, including the 64-team field. Now it's time to look at Division II. They also have a tournament going on, and Grand Valley State is number 1.
Top 5 teams are going to remain relatively unchanged, with each team winning their respective conference tournaments. Number 1, Grand Valley won their 7th straight title and will host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. The Lakers have not lost at home in 62 matches and are number 1 in the nation in scoring offense and goals against. West Florida Argonauts at 3 started off the season with 2 rainouts and 3 ties in their first 8 games, but they've won the last 11 and captured the Gulf West title. Joe Bartlinski's squad are the reigning national champions and have found their stride despite an unusual first start of the season. And then you have St. Edwards at number 10 that popped in after defeating Dallas Baptist in their conference tournament. They avenged last year's loss, and they're on pace with Lauren Heller and Jessica Traves being incredible goal scorers for them.
And in Division III, your number 1 is Washington.
The Bears have won 11 straight matches and captured their 9th University Athletic Association championship. They have an amazing defense that's only allowed 4 goals in 18 matches. And then at 2, you've got Trinity, which sits in the 2 spot and is the only unbeaten team in the top 10. Head coach Lance Key has led the Tigers to 8 SCAC championship titles in the 10 years of the program, and they have a scoring offense that scores 5.18 goals per game. Early in the year, we talked about the rivalry between number 5 Montclair State and now number 15 College of New Jersey. TCNJ snapped Montclair's 18-game win streak in their conference tournament this weekend, but despite the loss, Montclair State received an at-large bid and is going to host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament.
Division I junior colleges.
Paradise Valley won the Region 1 championship on PKs over Chandler Gilbert after a 110 minutes 1-1 tie. The Pumas now head to the national championship in Melbourne, Florida next week, and they're going to be joined by number 2 Iowa Western, who won the Region 2 title in dramatic fashion. The Reavers were down 1-0 to Iowa Central and scored 2 goals in the last minute and 7 seconds to win 2-1.
And we've crowned a champion in Division III junior college.
Not that I'm biased, but my hometown heroes, Brookdale Community College, defeated Mohawk Valley 4-3 on Sunday to capture that title.
All right, as we bring back in Sari Rose, Division I tournament time, top 64. Who is your pick? Because we'll be covering it all month long right here.
I've had a special place in my heart for Steve Swanson and the Cavaliers. They've struggled in the tournament the last few years, but I feel like they're determined, and that loss this weekend is enough to put them into the championship.
All right, Sari, thanks for being with us. We'll see you back here next week. When we come back, Charlie Slagle in the house to break down men's college soccer right here from the Continental Tire Studios in Chapel Hill.
Take aim, America. Focus on your target and not the goalkeeper, and you will score more goals and win more matches. Practicing with the Ultimate Goal Sports Targets is the best way to train you to score more goals. Simply attach the Velcro straps to the net and you are ready for the best shooting practice around. As a special offer, we'll send you a package of 2 red Bullseye Ultimate Goal sports targets for only $19.99. Sports targets are also great for helping you hit the mark in baseball, tennis, hockey, lacrosse, and more. And for a limited time, we'll double your offer and send you 2 blue sports targets free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Take aim, America, and improve your game with the Ultimate Goal sports targets. Here's how to order.
And a great look at the unbelievable crowd in Santa Barbara, 12,000 plus, the biggest attendance this year for college soccer, and that game brings you the top 4 biggest crowds all time of college soccer, Cal Poly and UCSB. What an incredible atmosphere. As we've got more here for men's college soccer, let's take a look again at what we are covering here. We got a new top 25. The conference tournaments start this week, and we'll visit with the #1 seed in the Big East. They play at PPL. We're talking about Georgetown's Brian Wiese. How about the job John Trask has done in just 4 years in Madison, Wisconsin, the #2 seed, but many think a top 16 pick in the tournament. We'll break down Division 2 and 3 and also junior college. We'll have the player of the week and more. And to do that, the longtime coach at Davidson, Charlie Slagle, and longtime Castle executive as well, is in the house. And Charlie, so many great storylines as we head into conference tournament action.
This is the fun time. You start narrowing it down, and with the parity that's been in these conferences and in the country, 23 conferences, only 3 teams are undefeated and untied. 5 other teams are undefeated but with ties, and every one of them has at least 2 ties. That's just in their conference, and they only play 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games.
And those are the storylines we will be covering. UCLA in the Pac-12 up for grabs. Don't forget, Fear the Turtle, the young team for Sasso Swarovski, somehow squeaked out the #1 seed in the ACC tournament. Penn State and Wisconsin in the Big Ten. We mentioned the Hoyas already. Let's tip our hat to Ralph Polson as well. Wofford, they won the regular season anyway. And then those teams down there, Drexel, UIC, Coastal, FGC, Denver, Seattle, all win the league. Those are stories that we'll be covering here. Take a look now at the tournament updates as we roll on. First of all, the America East, and your regular season champ is Pete Caringi.
And they are one of those teams that undefeated but with some ties, and what a year they've had. What a year the Caringis have. 1 on the bench and 1 scoring goals.
And the American Athletic.
And then you have Connecticut. Ray Reed did a great job with Connecticut this year, and they are heading to that conference tournament.
And, of course, we know ACC women are strong. ACC men not too shabby either as you take a look at those 2 teams finishing at #1.
At 7-1-3, so they both have 4 blemishes out of the 11 games, but they are the top 2 seeds, 2 great coaches, 2 great programs.
Let's look at the bracket now for the ACC. As you see there, Boston College has Maryland, North Carolina faces Clemson, it's Virginia, Wake Forest, and the Duke Blue Devils get in under John Kerr at Notre Dame. I do expect Duke to make the NCAA tournament as well, win or lose against Notre Dame. That's just my prediction there. As we roll on now, we'll take a look at the Big East, and Brian Wiese and Lewis Bennett get it done.
Right, 6-2-1 for Georgetown and Marquette. Both win the conference on 6-2-1 and followed right behind at 6-3 by Providence and Xavier.
And this tournament will be played at PPL Park, as we know, as It'll be Georgetown with the #1 seed as we take a look here at the job that Brian Wiese has done at Georgetown. It's in his 8th season. He was the runner-up a year ago, and as we mentioned, he's the 2013 Big East co-champs. And I asked him about that incredible run last year, and he's ready to put it behind him.
I think last year's team was a special team. I think we had some real great senior leadership and some good young guys, and it just melded really well together. And they handled adversity really well, and it was just a lot of fun. I think with when you're able to do that for the first time in a program's history, it's really a special thing. I don't think it's something that anybody who's a part of it will forget. The tournament run and our semifinal against Maryland was a game that I think will go down as one of the better games ever played. And I think the ability for this year's group, which is a very different group, to come back and have another successful season is it's a real challenge, because I think it was a different feeling going into the first game of the season this year. We had a lot of teams that were playing very hard against us and giving us a lot of problems, and we weren't quite where we are now at the beginning of the season. We're a younger group than we were last year, and I think last year's team came in to the first day of the season in cruise control and was flying right from the get-go. And this year's team needed some work, and really proud of how they've come together to get better and better and put ourselves in a good situation going into the postseason.
Brian, you mentioned big challenges. How would you like to be in that room selecting the teams for this year's NCAA tournament? Because the level of parity in men's college soccer is unbelievable.
It's maybe the hardest job of anybody this year. I mean, we took a West Coast trip out to start the season out to play Cal and Stanford, and those are two unbelievably good teams. And the Pac-10 or the Pac-12, I should say now, is having an unbelievable season as a conference. The ACC is having an unbelievable season, as they typically do. I think the Big East is having a good season as we would expect. The AAC, the Big Ten. I mean, it just goes on. There's teams in every single conference that you look at it that you say, yeah, they might be able to win the whole thing this year. And in a lot of cases, several teams from a lot of these conferences that could win the whole thing. So it's wide open this year, and I think it's a tribute to the quality of college soccer in general. It's been a lot of fun to see everybody get into this horse race, and we'll see who ends up at the finish line.
Brian Wiese, Georgetown Hoyas will face the winner of 5th-seeded Creighton and 4th-seeded Providence on Friday evening at PPL Park. Great place to play and should be a great atmosphere. Brian, good luck at PPL Park and good luck in the NCAA tournament.
Great. Thanks, Dean.
Great stuff from Brian Wiese as you take a look here at the Pac-12. And I'll tell you what, it's right down to the last weekend. Any of those three teams could win the Pac-12.
Yeah, you have 6-1-2, 6-2-1, 5-1-3. All those teams are right there, Washington, Cal, UCLA.
The Conference USA brackets are also unveiled, as we'll take a look at that next before we get to the rest of the regular season champs. And Conference USA is a tough conference for sure, Charlie.
No question. New Mexico at 7-1-1, Old Dominion at 7-2. They're the tops of that conference, but a lot of good teams in Conference USA.
All right, now we'll take a look at the rest of the regular season champs. For men's soccer, you see there either George Mason or St. Louis in the Atlantic 10. Of course, we know about Coastal Carolina, the Big West, UCSB and UC Irvine win their two respective divisions. Harvard is your Ivy League champion. Navy undefeated after beating Army on Friday night as well. And we know about Seattle. Congratulations to all those teams. The Akron Zips win the MAC. Now we go to the Big Ten, and you take a look at it. Penn State ended up with your #1 seed. And on Wednesday in Columbus, Michigan versus Indiana. Indiana will have to win the Big Ten tournament if the reigning national champs want to get back in, Charlie. Michigan State, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Northwestern.
Yeah, not many teams that are playing, but the teams that are playing are very good. And if Indiana can be that deep in the Big Ten, that shows the power of those other teams.
Don't count out the Wisconsin Badgers. They are on a roll right now. They've won 4 in a row from the team in Madison, and their last 10 at home. as John Trask has the Badgers at 13-3-2. Remember, at UIC, he was strong, winning the Horizon League Coach of the Year, and he's got MLS experience as well. He's one of the good guys of soccer, and we caught up with him in advance of the Big Ten tournament. The head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers, and what a season he's having. We're talking about John Trask. And John, first off, congratulations on a great season. It's been a nice run for the Badgers this year.
Yeah, really excited. We're the number 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament, which kicks off Wednesday afternoon in Columbus, Ohio at Ohio State. So looking forward to getting my Badger team back out on the field and seeing how we do against the Wildcats from Northwestern.
You've got some great leadership on this team this year. As you know, Tomislav Zadro came back. You got the big man in the back, Cochran, and then you got the sophomore Connor. I mean, there's so many nice pieces. Talk about your team, John.
Yeah, we're really excited. We made a change in goal a few games ago and put our senior Max Jensch back in, and the defense has really risen to the occasion. We're pitching some shutouts, which is what you want to do at this time of the year, be tough defensively, and scoring some timely goals. And Tomislav, had some injury concerns earlier in the year, and he's really come back, and Drew Connor and these other guys developed while he was out, and we just seem to be pretty potent going forward. I'm just excited about the way we're playing. Most importantly, I think it's some good football, good soccer, and I think we match up well against probably any team in the country at this point.
Now, you take a look at the RPI and everything else. It's no longer about is Wisconsin in. It's about, hey, I think Wisconsin's a top 16 seed. Make your pitch for that.
Yeah, if you go through our you want to call them negative results throughout the year, at least 2 of them were without Tomislav Zadro available due to an injury. I think if you go through the rest of our body of work and some of the teams we've beaten, a Michigan State, a Marquette, that we need to be in consideration. And I know the computer spits out one thing. It's not that we're low down in terms of the RPI, but I think there's a human element to the committee as well. And when you stack up what we've done over the past 10 games, I believe we're 8-1-1. We haven't given up a goal in our last 3 conference games. And when you talk about the Big Ten Conference, that's pretty impressive. And so I think we're a team that's peaking at the right time, which should be part of the consideration. And as I've said, if there's 15, 16 teams more deserving of, a seed in this year's tournament, I would like to see them across the board and how their season's gone. I know the last 10 games is a big criteria, and we've been, other than a loss at Michigan and a tie against a very tough Milwaukee team who's got a good RPI, a rivalry game, we've won 8 straight, and we're 10-0-0 at home. We have the longest unbeaten streak in the country, dating back to 2012. So, we're optimistic. If we can keep winning games and the Big Ten tournament's going to be, it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be the Wild West in Columbus. All the teams are good enough to win it, but we like our chances and looking forward to playing a very good Northwestern team on Wednesday.
I'm looking forward to that, too. John Trask, the head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers. You definitely made your case, in my opinion. We'll find out next week as well. We'll see you in Columbus for the Big Ten tournament. Thanks for joining us here on the NSCAA Highlights and Review Show.
Thank you, Dean.
Interviews with Wisconsin head coach John Trask and all the other interviews and features on this program are presented by Shattuck St. Mary's, a college prep boarding school with a full-time residential soccer center of excellence for boys and girls and a member of the U.S. Soccer Development Academy. We thank Jesse Fortney and Tim Carter from their beautiful Minnesota-based campus. To learn more, visit s-sm.org. And the NSCAA convention is coming up in Philadelphia, January 15 through 19. You can still register by going to nscaa.com/convention. And speaking of the NSCAA convention, you will not want to miss one of the biggest parties going on as well, as it's Party All Night in Philly, presented by NSR Australia, and it's only for college coaches. You show proof that you're a college coach, you get in. It's an open bar, live DJ food, and open entertainment. It should be fantastic, but limited numbers. You need to RSVP today. Go to nscaa.com and find the banner for NSR Australia.
There's a reason soccer's called the beautiful game. Experience it live at the 2013 NCAA Men's College Cup, December 13th and 15th at PPL Park in Philadelphia. Affordable tickets now available. Visit ncaa.com/Men's College Cup.
Continental Tire, the official tire of Major League Soccer.
Welcome back to the Continental Tire Studios in Chapel Hill. Dean Linke along with Charlie Slagle. And Charlie, now it's time to take a look at the new top 25. And of course, at number 1, Bobby Clark back up there.
He's number 1. His team is number 1, but they're number 2 seed in the ACC tournament, tied with Maryland. And what a year Bobby Clark has had. And you can't diminish that they had to go and play new teams that they didn't normally play and play them on the road. And 7-1-3 in the conference is a great performance for Bobby Clark's team. Another team I want to look at is UMBC. Once again, they won the America East 5-0-2. The Karinjis, father-son combination, have done well. And then number 10, UCSB. You saw what great crowds they have. They won the Big West North at 7-0-3.
Flip the chart to 11 through 20.
And let's look at number 18, UC Irvine, also in the Big West, but they are in the South. They win their end 7-2-1. New Mexico at number 19. Both those teams are moving up from the 20s into the top 20. And New Mexico 7-1-1 in Conference USA, ready for this weekend.
And your final 5, Charlie.
University of Illinois Chicago is in there. They are one of those 3 undefeated, untied teams in the conference play, along with these other teams that have played. 3 undefeated, untied teams and 5 undefeated, but have at least 2 ties in conference play. As John Trask said, we think we can beat any team in the tournament. There are probably 25 teams that are coming into this weekend thinking that they could beat anybody in this tournament.
Washington forward Mason Robertson, a freshman from Phoenix, is your NSCAA Disney Soccer Player of the Week with game-winning goals in both of the number 3 Huskies games last week. Congratulations to Mason Robinson, your NSCAA Disney Soccer Player of the Week. During the Disney Soccer Showcase, athletes have the opportunity to play in front of the top college coaches across the country. Teams who compete at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex will receive the first-class service that only Disney can offer. To apply for the Disney Soccer Showcase or learn more about the Disney Soccer Youth Tournaments, visit us today at DisneySoccer.com. Now it's time to take a look at NCAA Division II men's soccer.
And last week's top 3, Young Harris lost 2-3 to Francis Marion. Simon Fraser lost 0-3 at Western Washington. And Rollins lost 2-1 against Lynn neutral. The top 8 seeds for the 35-team tournament: LIU Post, Slippery Rock, Ohio Dominican. Lindenwood is the top overall seed. Rollins, Limestone, Cal State LA, and Regis.
And Division III.
Division III, a 61-team tournament. You did have Ohio Wesleyan tying DePaul last week, but the 3 top seeds in that 61, and they all get byes: Rutgers Camden, Loras, and Ohio Wesleyan.
All right, roll to Junior College Division I.
Division I, their tournament starts a week from Monday, last Monday, so 6 days from now. It's in Tyler, Texas. There'll be 16 teams. Monday and Tuesday, they play 4 games each. Wednesday, they play the quarterfinals. Then the semifinals are on Friday, and the finals are on Saturday. Again, and that is in Tyler, Texas, and that is NJCAA 1.
And how about in Division III real quick?
Starting Thursday at Herkimer, you have 8 teams playing in the quarterfinals. Herkimer versus Adirondack, Herkimer being the number 1 seed. Number 2 seed Bunker Hill versus Richland. Number 3 seed Montgomery versus Century. And number 4 seed Suffolk versus Camden. Fridays, you got the consolations. Sunday, you have the championship and third place games.
Of course, next week we'll unveil the 64-team field, or the 48-team field, right, for NCAA men as well, Charlie. That'll be next week on November 19th at 1 o'clock. And remind you one more time about the NSCAA convention coming down the road in Philadelphia, January 15th through 19th. We'll do a live show from there on Thursday night right here on NSCAA TV. And just want to let all the college coaches know that this year in Philly, the most happening place to be will be at the NSR Australia NSCAA party. Open bar, yes, open bar all night, entertainment, celebrities, U.S. national team coach Tom Sermani, football freestylers, live band, DJ, giveaway, and more. Get yourself there Friday, January 17th at the Ben Ballroom. Don't forget to register. It's free to college coaches. You must have proof and ID that you're a college coach. It's the NSR Australia party, January 17th at the Philly Convention. You do not want to miss it as part of the NSCAA show. Well, it's been a great show here. Congratulations to all 64 teams that made the women's tournament and everybody in our top 10. Thank you so much to everybody that contributed as well. Larissa White and the great SIDs, particularly from Georgetown, Wisconsin, Texas A&M, Florida State, and Nebraska. Of course, want to thank our fine crew here as well, Kyle Lang and Taylor Hoggard, and everybody from the NSCAA staff in Kansas City. Sari Rose on the women. He's Charlie Slagle. Today's show is presented by the NSCAA. Learn more by visiting nscaa.com. I'm Dean Linke saying so long from the Continental Tire Studios in Chapel Hill, and thanks for watching NSCAA TV.